let's get this started. I can't wait any longer. It's Sunday night. Half the world is in bed. Half of America is in bed to go to their wagey job tomorrow. I just got back from welcome, by the way. Please subscribe, please like, please comment. I will read all the comments. If there are comments in the live chat, I will read them. If there are comments afterwards, I'll reply to them and try and read them. Lots going on today. As I say, I just got back from a church event. So basically anything that has come out since 6 o'clock, I'm not really aware of. So I'm going to have to find out along with you and peruse Twitter. I don't know what's going on. I should never wear this shirt ever again because I usually wear a V-neck under my sweater, but this one just keeps riding up and making me look ridiculous. Okay. All right. Hopefully that's not too bad for you. So I'm going to try and stay fairly calm during this stream because once again, anger filled me this afternoon when I heard of the second attempt on Trump's life. Actually, anger may not be the right term, the right phrase. I had already been jazzed up, and I am not an angry person, but I've had to limit my exposure to Twitter. I've had to take X off my phone because it just gets too much. But of course, today, for whatever reason, I was on it more. And first of all, before any news broke of this attempt on Trump's life, on former President Trump's life, before any news broke of it, I was already looking at the freakout that was taking place particularly on X, about Trump's tweet about Taylor Swift. And honestly, that sort of angered me or got me a little more riled up to begin with. Like I was already going before this new news came through. Because the reaction to this tweet, and by the way, I'm not going to talk about this tweet the whole time. I'm going to talk about the attempt, and we're going to get more information. By the way, I heard somebody say, I don't know, I don't think he had anything to do with the Secret Service, but he had to do with some kind of law enforcement. And he said the reason the whole perimeter of the golf course wasn't being guarded was because President Trump is no longer president anymore. To which I say, is it not common sense to try and have the perimeter secure since there was already an attempt on his life a couple months ago? Would that not be the smart thing to do? I don't know. I mean, sometimes you just hear about this stuff and you go, is there any common sense left? Now, I know they're going to say we're strapped for funding. We're strapped for funding. I guess all the funds are in Ukraine. Maybe that the funds could otherwise be paying people to protect the president and the former president. That money has now, I guess, gone to protect Zelensky, maybe. But nevertheless, when news came through of this, it's a problem when you hear the news and it doesn't send you into a panic anymore because it's almost like you expect it. And once I knew that Trump was fine and he wasn't hurt, it's kind of like, well, yeah, there it is once again. But here's the deeper point I want to make before I get into what I saw on X this morning that was grinding my gears before the bigger news came over the press, as they used to say. The deeper point here about what happened to Trump today, or what almost happened again to him, is if it is not clear to people by now that this is a man who they really, and when I say they, I mean the political establishment, does not want to be president, if this is not enough proof for you, it should be. Now, we don't know anything about this guy yet who tried to pull this off. But here's the problem. We will never know anything about him, just like we never end up knowing anything about anybody who tries to do this kind of thing. We are totally left in the dark about the culprit every single time, not only on the attempt on the president's life, but these other massacre creators, if we have to use another term. We never end up learning the full story about them, and it makes you wonder why do we never learn the full story about them? But I want to say something else, and that is that Trump has really solidified himself in the echelon of history as a figure who not only riles up great love and hatred on both sides, but most importantly, is such a threat to the world order that many feel that they need to take it into their own hands to do what they have tried to do twice to him now. And to me, this shows that Trump is a historical figure. This shows that Trump is a major historical figure. He is somebody, he is not another politician. He's not a Mitt Romney. He's not a Jeb Bush. This is a man who will be remembered forever as someone who freaks out the establishment so much and freaks out the people who have bought into the lies and bought into the propaganda about him. And if you need any more sign of this, you can go and take a look at the tweet from, what's her name again? Vindman. Let's see here. I hate to give them publicity, but let's go to X, the platform that has caused me so much grief today. But we're thankful the president is alive and the president is safe and the president is the former president and the president. But let's just go to this quickly here. Share my screen. And I want you to take a look at this tweet. And I want you to internalize this. And I want you to remember this. I want you to be aware of this. I want you to read this, not once, not twice, but thrice. And realize that this is what Trump is up against. This is what Trump is fighting. He's not just fighting the political establishment and the Democrats and the Republicans and the deep state and whatever else. He's fighting the complete mental illness that has ensued because of his very success and his presence as a major political figure and possibly the next president. But the main question, and as you see the tweet here from Rachel Vindman, you know the name. No ears were harmed. Carry on with your Sunday afternoon. This is what we are up against. And I choose not to return this evil and hatred the way that Sarah Rose did in the comment, as you can see in the replies, although it's tempting. I do not respond in such a manner because I think, not to use a Michelle Obama phrase, but we cannot be getting ourselves into the dirt and into the mud with people of this caliber. So again, I don't know all the details about what happened. They haven't even confirmed that there were shots fired at him. So it might be premature for us to be saying attempt on his life. Although I did see this afternoon about 3 or 4 o'clock, CNN and multiple, I was going to say trustworthy, multiple mainstream outlets confirmed that the shots were intended for the former president. And you may ask yourself, And that's why I made this the title of the stream tonight. I don't want this garbage up there anymore. I made this the title of the stream tonight. Why wasn't Trump and why isn't Trump being properly protected? It seems ludicrous to me that he is golfing on an 18-hole golf course and there aren't agents surrounding the entire thing. There should be agents everywhere. There should be agents on the 18th and the 17th and the 16th and the 15th and everywhere around the perimeter. As you know, when you're on a golf course, there are so many points of entry that anybody can walk on a course at any time of day. People don't, but they can. And when the former president is playing golf and there has already been an attempt on his life, why do they not have the entire course protected in the best way they can, in the best manner they can? And I know they're going to say, oh, funding, funding, funding. And as I said at the outset, well, but where's the money now? Is it in Ukraine? Can we not dish out a few bucks to protect the former president? We dish out billions to send to Zelensky. We send it all over the world. We send it to Israel. We send it to Gaza. We send it to Ukraine. We send it to Iraq and Afghanistan. We send it to Africa. We send it to Europe. We send it to wherever else. We send it to Germany for the how many ever bases we have everywhere. We send it overseas to those in need, and we send it overseas to those who aren't in need, and we send it to those overseas to keep their mouths shut, and we send it everywhere but to America, and we send it everywhere but to what seems like a small line item to protect the former president. I guess that's too much to ask, I guess. Now, we don't know anything about this guy, and we probably will never know about this guy, as we are always kept in the dark about this stuff. They will go and they'll scrub his social media very quickly so we can't find out that he was watching Rachel Maddow every night or that he was a Bernie guy. None of that is true, by the way. That's just a little sarcasm for you. But we will never find out who he is and what his deal was. But regardless of what we find out and what we don't find out, it can only be a couple things. Either he's a rogue who hates the president, in which case the Democrats and the media bear responsibility, and because of what they have said, they continue to repeat their battle hymn that Trump is a threat to democracy. They continue to say it over and over and over again, that he's a threat to democracy. I saw a tweet today from David Axelrod. Let me pull it up here. Let me go down. A tweet from the great David Axelrod, who I think is a smart guy, by the way. But nonetheless, we can use this as an illustration. Here it is. Here's a tweet. Whatever happened, and we'll learn much more soon, I'm sure. Let's agree that in America, we resolve our differences with ballots, not bullets. What a clever line. I don't know. Has anyone ever said that before? I've never heard that phrase said. That is a David Axelrod original. I've never heard someone say ballots, not bullets. But as you can see, my response to him was maybe calling Trump a threat to democracy over and over and over is playing a role. Time for you guys to own this. What would happen? Let me pose the question to you, and not that we should all be playing this ridiculous game that's always played about, well, if it was the other side, because I don't like playing that game. What will we call it? The hypocrisy game? If it were the other side saying this, but sometimes it's warranted. And I brought this up in relation to the debate the other night, What if it was not Trump whose life was attempted on, but the Democrat candidate? The first question of the debate would have been undoubtedly to Trump. And it would have been, Mr. Trump, don't you think you need to turn down the temperature? Don't you think you need to change your rhetoric? Don't you think you need to soften your message? Don't you think you need to be less brash? Don't you think you need to be less abrasive? Don't you think you need to calm down? Don't you think, Mr. Trump, that maybe you bear some responsibility? Don't you think, Mr. Trump, that maybe you should choose your words wisely? That's what we would hear from David Muir and the other disgraces in the media. But no, it was against Trump, and there was nothing said of it until Trump brought it up, probably reluctantly, by the way, during the actual debate. But ask yourself, if this were the second time, and again, we don't know that if this is confirmed, but what it looks like is maybe an attempt on Trump's life. I cannot see it being a rogue shootout. Like there's a little bit of gang activity. What, in Palm Beach? Have you ever been to Palm Beach? West Palm is not as nice, not as rich, not as ritzy, but possible, I guess. But let me ask the question. And again, I don't like playing the hypocrisy game, but sometimes you have to play the hypocrisy game. What would happen if there were two attempts on the Democrat nominee's life, who was a former president? What would the tweet from David Axelrod be then? Would it be, yeah, okay, you know what, guys, can we just agree we gotta not be shooting each other? Would it be that, or would it be calls to have Trump censored, calls to have Trump taken off of social media, taken off of X, taken off of YouTube? By the way, they did that when he did much less. He told people to go peacefully, protest peacefully, and they pulled him down. And then they said he should have done it earlier. He should have made the video earlier. He should have spoke earlier. He should have tweeted earlier. He should have done everything earlier, according to them. But what would the tweets be from David Axelrod and the political class when or if it were the other way around? I think it would not be this. I don't think it would be this. So there's not much more I can comment on until until we know the whole story, until we have all the facts. I mean, look, as I said, I saw the news. I was reading frantically. I saw Sean Hannity say that he was supposed to be golfing and didn't go. He said that he was in touch with somebody who played with Trump today and was there, and they heard 4 pops. And then, of course, Secret Service surrounded him and got him off. But I beg the question again, why is he not being properly protected? This is a huge problem. The first one was unacceptable. But sometimes you think, well, things happen. But for a second one, that leads you to believe that it is not a security breach, a security flaw, but maybe something more. And I can't say what I think that is until I have more facts at my disposal. If there are people who, somebody says this is recorded, he will not address the Butler County Police. This is not recorded. Are you talking about this? Wow, there's a lot of comments. Okay, check it out is back. By the way, if anyone has any news that I have, because once again, I tell you, I was looking at the breaking news, and then I had to go to an event, and the event lasted till 10 o'clock. So I'm only back now, and I'm coming into this blind, and I haven't even looked at anything before coming on here. And I don't like coming on here unprepared, even though this is a stream that I'm just starting and isn't huge yet, but I have a responsibility not to come on here and just talk about falsehoods. But let's see if there's anything in the live chat. Hello, check it out. We all know that local police dropped the ball. The first attempt, the police saw the kid and fell off the roof. Some cops are not meant to be cops. Butler police saw the shooter on the roof and fell off for no reason. No one talks about it. Sounds like Uvalde 2.0. Yeah. Were the Uvalde cops? One of them got off, right? I know there was a trial. I remember seeing him breaking down after the verdict. S. Russell says people are trying to say it's technically not an assassination attempt because the shooter didn't fire any shots. Well, so is it confirmed yet? Do we know there were 4 shots? Were there shots fired in the president's direction, or was it just 4 shots at the guy with the gun? It is really worrying at this point. He got lucky twice, but any possible assassin only has to get lucky once. Yes, true. Trump is a man of destiny, though. This is exactly what I was talking about. Like, he is totally a man of destiny. I just get that feeling. I get the feeling that Trump and everything that has gone on to him, it's like you're watching a movie. It's like we're watching a movie unfold before our very eyes. And the movie that we're seeing unfold is the deep state trying to stop Trump, the media trying to stop Trump, the Democrats trying to stop Trump, and rogue citizens, if you will, trying to stop Trump. Everyone, they're all trying to stop him in their own way, and they're failing. And they are, no doubt, they are panicking because Trump is holding his own in the polls. There's a poll that came out 2 days ago or a day ago. A+ poll got the 2016 election right, has Trump up by 2 in the popular vote. That is. I mean, if Trump is really tied or up by 2 in the popular vote, this is over. It is over. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's the case. Polling can be wrong. It is wrong often. But I've looked at a lot of polling. As you know, I talk about the polling a lot on this channel. And what I'm seeing is not a trend for Harris, but a trend for Trump, in that Trump is closing the gap little by little. And I saw a headline. And by the way, I always tell you like I see it when it comes to the polling. I am not going to tell you Trump's winning. You can go somewhere else for that. There are plenty of places to tell you great news when there isn't any. If Trump is losing, I will tell you he's losing. And I have done that before. But the way I see it right now is he's breathing down her neck, as a headline I saw. Trump, Harris in the lead, but Trump breathing down her neck. That's really where we're at right now. And as I tell you all the time, add 2 points to Trump. Whatever poll you see with Trump in it, add 2 points on, because that's always where he's at. He always isn't. He's very underpolled. So, but Trump is a man of destiny. The impeachments, the indictments, the attempts on his life. This is all pointing to a man of destiny. And I pray every day that they have him protected, that they are doing everything they can to make sure this doesn't happen again. This is twice it has happened. And you can be rest assured the media will not care about this past Tuesday evening. They will talk about it tomorrow, and then we'll be back to why is Trump such a maniac tweeting about Taylor Swift. And maybe that's a good time for me to transition to that, because I don't know anything else about the story. Let me, is there anything I can, let's see. Let's just see here. Give me a second. For example, I just opened never mind. I'm not even going to rant about that. Let's just go to CNN just to see what they're saying about it. I know that CNN is whatever, but I want to see how it's playing. Okay, here's the headline. Trump safe after being targeted in second apparent assassination attempt. The FBI is investigating what it said is an apparent attempt on Donald Trump at his Florida golf club Sunday. The second time in 2 months there's been an apparent attempt on the former president's life. Trump is safe and was not harmed in the incident, his campaign said. Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw said during a Sunday news conference that his office was informed at 1:30 p.m. Eastern of shots fired by the Secret Service when agents fired at a man who had a rifle in the bushes along the perimeter of the Trump International Golf Club. Trump had been playing golf at the time, moving between holes 5 and 6, a source briefed on the matter told CNN. A Secret Service agent spotted a rifle barrel with a scope sticking out of the fence of the golf course and immediately engaged with the person, Bradshaw said. The agent who spotted the rifle, whoops, no, we don't want that. Thank you very much for messing me up. That stupid ad. Secret Service agent spotted a rifle barrel with a scope sticking out of the fence of the golf course and immediately engaged with the person, Bradshaw said. The agent who spotted the rifle, Bradshaw said, is part of a team that stays a hole or two ahead of Trump on the course. Well, that's comforting. At least they have someone, going up to the holes he's about to play, making sure there's nobody waiting there. The person was 300 to 500 yards away from Trump, an official said. The person fled the scene in a car and was spotted by a witness, which ultimately helped law enforcement officials locate the vehicle driving north on I-95 in Martin County, one county to the north of Palm Beach. We were able to catch a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped back into a black Nissan and took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So this guy literally, this good Samaritan caught him by taking a picture of the tag, although they said they had drones flying around. Authorities alerted the Martin County Sheriff's Office, which detained the person. The witness was able to then identify the man. David Ehrenberg, state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, said the suspect said nothing as he was detained. He knew enough to stay silent, he told Anderson Cooper on Sunday evening. He did not apparently speak to officers. He was calm. So it looked like a person who has done this before, not necessarily this crime, but someone who has repeated interactions with law enforcement. Why do they believe that? Just because he didn't say anything? The person in custody in connection with the apparent attempted assassination is Ryan Wesley Routh, according to 3 law enforcement sources. The self-employed affordable housing builder in Hawaii went on social media to weigh in on politics and current events, at times criticizing the former president and expressed strong support for Ukraine. So see, we're off to the races already, just as I predicted. The FBI's investigation has gone global as officials work to flesh out his background. A law enforcement source told CNN some of Routh's suspected online activity also involved the use of platforms headquartered outside the United States. The source said, which will involve working with international partners to identify everything the FBI possibly can about the detained individual. Officials said an AK-47 rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks that were hung on the fence and had ceramic tile on them, and a GoPro camera were recovered at the scene. The holes Trump was playing when the incident occurred are on the eastern edge of the golf course. Trump had no public events on his schedule for Sunday, and his golf game was a last-minute addition to his itinerary, 2 sources familiar with the matter said. The apparent attempt that Trump's golf course in Florida comes 2 months after an attempt against the former president at Butler, Pennsylvania rally that sparked scrutiny of the U.S. Secret Service. Former President Trump is safe and unharmed following a possible attempted assassination shortly before 2 p.m. Sunday at Trump International Golf Club, blah, 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 blah. Ronald Rowe, acting director of the U.S. Secret Service, is traveling to Florida in the wake of the incident, a law enforcement source familiar with the matter told CNN. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Sunday his state would conduct its own investigation of the apparent thwarted assassination attempt, and the congressional task force that's investigating the first attempted assassination of the former president is requesting a briefing with the Secret Service following Sunday's incident. So they already had 1 to deal with. Now they have 2. So there's that. There's all the information we really know. I don't know if we're going to learn much more about this. But we'll see. I don't know if it's just a guy who's unhinged or what? Sorry, I just realized that that was very small print. I should have blown that up a little bit more. Trump went up by a point in the polling market odds. 49 it's at now. Okay, so there's that. There's that. Trump got plot armor. Doesn't Trump have private security? They don't use sensors or cameras. I don't know if Trump uses private security. As a former president, he is assigned Secret Service protection. I know that when he ran for president the first time, he used his own private security. Personally, if I were him, I'd be using my own private security. I don't know how complicated that is, though. And I mean, notwithstanding these two events, you would think that the Secret Service would be better to have than private security. Secret Service, as much as they have seemed to screw up here in two instances, the Secret Service has a better chance of protecting a former president, usually. Mind you, we're not taking into account how much the government and how much the deep state does not like him. But usually, you're better off with Secret Service protection because Secret Service has access to intelligence, and there's intelligence sharing within the government. There's threat surveillance and things like that. And so you would think it would be easier or better to have the Secret Service, but when you're Donald Trump, that may not be the case. As I say, it's much different if you're Trump. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube, by the way. Please subscribe, please like, and please hop in the live chat if you want. I try and read as much as I can. You can subscribe by clicking the button in the bottom right corner. Did I change? I think I changed the icon. Yeah, there it is. It's my new icon there. I don't know how long I'm going to keep that one, but the little purple one, bottom right, subscribe so you can follow along. And then those who are watching on X, I appreciate you on X. A lot of viewership on X. I'm going to be doing live streams almost every night, so follow me on X. Florida Millennial on both. The would-be assassin was identified as Ryan Wesley Routh. Apparently, he actually went to Ukraine to fight. So this guy's gripe with Trump was that he's not pro-Ukraine enough. But that's just what I heard. Yeah, look, it's hard. It's really hard to decipher everything right now because you can't really verify anything. Dogs and cats are being eaten in Ohio, and we don't even know if that's happening. He has private security, but to the extent I don't know. Okay, so he has a mix of private and Secret Service. He has private security at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, some people don't realize this, but being a golf guy, I know. Trump does not play golf at Mar-a-Lago. He plays golf at his Palm Beach club. I'm pretty sure it's Palm Beach or what, either Palm Beach or West Palm Beach. But that's where he plays golf, down the road, drive, 10-minute drive, I think, or something like that. So when he goes to play golf, it's not like he's rolling out of bed onto the first tee. He's got to get in the motorcade and he's got to go all the way there. Mar-a-Lago doesn't have a golf course because Mar-a-Lago is not actually that big of a plot of land. It's got a lot of, I want to say frontage, but it has a lot of beach frontage and a lot of setback onto the beach, but it doesn't have a lot of land. Like there's no way you could have a golf course in Mar-a-Lago. It's basically just a club, private club, pool, tennis facility, living facility for president and whoever else. I think Rudy Giuliani was living there for a while, but it's not a very big place, so he does not play golf there. So he probably has private security at his club to guard the club, and I don't know if he has Secret Service at the club. But when he goes to play golf at Trump International, he doesn't take any of his Mar-a-Lago security, I don't think. So he's probably relying on Secret Service protection when he's at the club. Or sorry, when he's at the course playing golf. So And if it's any, I've never been to that one. I've been to his Doral club. If it's anything like the Doral club, it's tree lined. So, it depends what kind of golf course you're playing. If you're playing a city course, it's not like this. But if you're playing a private club, usually it's lined with trees or forest. It's in Florida, so there's not much forest. So it's usually just trees, like palm trees and fencing, basically. So, as I say, access to golf course is fairly easier than people think, because it's, really you can get on a golf course from anywhere. And look, I've thought about this before. I've thought about him being protected on when he's playing golf, because it's, I've always thought, how do they protect him on a golf course? There's so many ways to enter. Much easier to protect him in an indoor rally, much easier to protect him in the White House, much easier to protect him when he's at Mar-a-Lago, much easier to protect him, honestly, much easier to protect him when he's getting out of the motorcade and shaking hands, because you can kind of um, protect the perimeter and protect the area. But when he's out on a golf course, or he's giving a rally in the middle of a field in Butler, it's very hard, because you're in the middle of a field. It's like being in a plot on a farm. There's people can enter from every which way. So it is tough. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to put an agent every 10 feet around the whole perimeter of the course? That's impossible. I think, as much as I'm saying, he should be protected, and it's a travesty how he isn't, clearly. Um, it's harder logistically than people think to do that. It's quite hard to do it, actually. So, I do have to be careful. We do have to be careful how much we criticize the Secret Service, because it's easy for us to say, like, well, why aren't they around the perimeter? Well, that's harder than you think. Golf courses are huge. Where are you going to put them? Do they just stand there? Um, do they stand there the whole time? Do they follow him to certain holes? When he finishes, the front nine, do the people guarding the front of that part of the course, do they leave? Do they stay? It's all these things that people don't really think about. When you're protecting a former president, it's up to the Secret Service to think about that and figure it out. Like, that's what the Secret Service is known for. They're like, we'll protect you anywhere. Like, we can figure it out. So, but anyway, I want to I don't want to skip past it because it's a major story. But the point is, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't have any more information. I really don't. In terms of any sort of commentary I can give, it's that Trump, again, he seems like a man of destiny. And the more you watch what's going on with Trump, the more you feel like you're watching a movie. And the more you feel like you're watching a movie, the more you feel like he's going to prevail in the end. So that is not a comment on the polling. I'm always here to tell you the truth about what's going on with the polling, but it seems to me that, like, and by the way, I had just said, when was this? A couple days ago. Oh, I said it when I interviewed David Chapman. By the way, you can go watch that interview. David Chapman joined me for the second time on Wednesday night, and we had a good discussion about the debate and everything else. And I said, look, like, we've gone a while here without any big events, without any major events happening, and I pray that there isn't any negative events coming up. This clearly could have been one. Thank God this agent saw. For as much as I'm saying the agents are failing to protect him, maybe they aren't failing to protect him. Maybe they are protecting him. They saw it, but we shouldn't. I don't think we should rely on them just being able to see something about to happen. It should be, you can't even get close to him. So, and look, I am not one to weigh in on how principals are supposed to be protected by security or Secret Service, but sometimes you wonder if there's too many agents actually around him, and not enough agents like surveilling all, like, the perimeter. Or it's like, it's one thing to have him walking around with like 15 agents all around him. And I heard too that they jumped on him and then they took him off the course in a bulletproof cart, which is, I mean, it's incredible, really. But did you hear betting is legal now for an election? A judge just ruled it's legal within the United States. A U.S. District Court judge on Thursday allowed New York-based startup Kalshi to legally offer betting on the outcome of the November congressional elections. Okay. What's that, like a test drive? I don't think that's a good thing, honestly. Like, look what happened. Look at the NBA. You don't think that's happening a lot? You remember that story? I know it's an old story now, but you don't think that's happening a lot? Anyways, pray for President Trump. Pray for his protection. Pray for the protection of all the leaders, because. But they want him, and they see that he's prevailing. Honestly, I'm not just talking about like the deep state and insiders and the political class and everyone else who's against him. I'm just talking about like people are seeing it, and that's why, like, this guy, who knows? As I say, we'll never know. But if I had to guess, probably just a rogue dude. Same thing as the guy who tried to take out the baseball game, the congressional baseball game. Remember, that was Steve Scalise. Same kind of thing. So anyway, pray for the president's protection and safety, that he has the proper security around him, and that they figure out what the heck is going on with the Secret Service and just figure out a way to keep him safe. All right, so I wanted to talk. I was going to start off the outset talking about this, but I'm not going to go on for too long tonight. I've already gone for 45 minutes. Maybe I'll go 15 more minutes. I don't really want to go over an hour. It's Sunday night. Everyone's, whatever. Everyone wants to go to sleep. They got, as I say, the wages have got work tomorrow. But I want to talk about. Let me see. Is this? Can you see this? I don't like how it doesn't really. Okay, is that better? Can everyone see that tweet? So I want to talk about this. As silly as it sounds to talk about this after such a serious topic that I was discussing a second ago. But Trump, this morning, before his crazy round of golf that it only got to the fifth hole, decided to tweet out, "I hate Taylor Swift." Sorry, the reason I'm laughing is because like I'm imagining Trump waking up and he's like, you know what? Because they said it was an impromptu. They said they added this to his itinerary. Imagine he's waking up and he's just like, he's eating breakfast and he's sitting there at Mar-a-Lago on the patio, and he sees a tweet about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala, and he just goes, "I hate Taylor Swift," and he just pounds it out in capital letters, and he's like, "All right, one dopamine hit, and now I need my second one." And he's like, he calls up his body man, "Hey, give me a tea time at Trump National. Give me a tea time for an hour. We're heading over, and call Frank and call Johnny and tell them to bring their clubs. We're playing at 1:00. Click." And that's just how the president's day goes. Like, so it was funny. When I first saw the tweet, it was funny. And that's the thing, by the way, about the cats and dogs thing. Like, was the cats and dogs comment politically effective? No, probably not. But you know what? Everyone is talking about the migrant situation in Ohio, and they were not talking about that before. So let's just get that straight. Trump has a way of magnifying an issue by being controversial and outrageous about it. So, but here's what I want to talk about with this tweet. Now, he tweets this out, And the response is so predictable. So predictable. And I want to use this as an example because they were all like this and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Well, no, let me not say this, but a lot of this garbage that was being tweeted out this morning was quickly forgotten about because there was bigger issues. Unfortunately, the issue that swept it off the timeline was a bad one, but thankfully, once again, the president is safe. But let's go to Joel Pollak. If you don't know who Joel Pollak is, Joel Pollak is one of the, let's say, the founding fathers at Breitbart. Actually, I'm not sure if he's one of the founders, but he is a big Breitbart guy. So Joel Pollak sees that that Trump tweets this out. Now, if you are a Trump guy, if you're a Trump fan, and you see that he tweeted this out, what's your first reaction? I told you what my first reaction was. It was to laugh. I thought it was funny. I thought it was like, oh, here's Trump again. Like the old Trump is back. Clearly, the old Trump is back. That's what I think. It's funny. You're starting to think like, I wonder what Taylor's thinking about this as she's looking at it. I wonder what all Taylor Swift's fans, like all our fangirls, are thinking about this. So I thought it was funny. I thought it was. It's a tweet. It's a social media post. And this is really the problem with the right. This is the problem with Republicans, Republican Party, conservative movement. This is really the problem with them. Trump took over the party and he made the party funny and he made the party cool again. He made the party relevant. He made the party controversial, a little bit crazy, and that's good. That's good. We're sick of the stale. We're sick of, and it'd be one thing if the stale and the conventional was winning, but it wasn't winning. Let us remember that Mitt Romney, prim and proper Mitt Romney, robotic Mitt Romney, moderate Mitt Romney, everything by the book, presidential Mitt Romney lost to Obama. John McCain, moderate, lost to Obama. So it's not like the old party was winning and then Trump came along and he was this crazy maniac and then they started losing. No, actually, it was the opposite. The crazy maniac Trump came along and they won. George W. Bush was winning. I was just about to address that. I mean, that's 2004. You got to go way back. So, anyways, my reaction to Trump saying this was laughter. Honestly, it was humorous. But Joel Pollak's reaction was the following. Trump needs to decide to win. He is missing opportunities and making unforced errors. This is a winnable election against a very stupid and radical opponent, backed by a corrupt, dangerous party. Yeah, the media suck. So what? Inspire your own voters. Not this. Do better. No time. What is this? What are we being lectured by a third grade teacher here over a tweet? And let me tell you what really angers me about this. If Trump tweeted war with Iran now, imagine this. Imagine instead of waking up today at 10 a.m. or whatever it was, probably earlier. Imagine instead of tweeting this about Taylor Swift, Trump tweeted war with Iran, exclamation point. What would Joel Pollak be saying? Anyone? Any takers? What would Joel Pollak say? What would Ari Fleischer say? Because Ari Fleischer had the same reaction. I can go back and show you 100 tweets, 100 posts. Sorry, I'm still used to saying tweets. I could go back and show you the same, literally the exact same tweet over and over and over and over again. Trump needs to get disciplined. Trump needs to get serious. This is not helping. This is not helping. Who is advising him? It's a tweet. It's on Truth Social. But when Trump, if Trump, sometimes when Trump, but if Trump tweets out things that are bad or says things that are dangerous, these guys don't care. In fact, they would support it. And I'm telling you, if Trump had have tweeted out war with Iran, Joel Pollak would have been standing up applauding. Even though that is a very dangerous tweet. I hate Taylor Swift, not a dangerous tweet. And if you think that tweeting out, I hate Taylor Swift, is going to crash your campaign and is going to be so counterproductive and so detrimental to him, then you are running scared. And the Republicans always run scared. Always. They are constantly fretting. They're constantly nervous. Oh no. What about the independents? What about the moderates? Oh no, what are the women going to think about this? We have to get the suburban voter. No, what's going to happen? Women aren't going to like us. The Philly suburbs, they aren't going to like us because Trump keeps tweeting about Taylor Swift. He keeps being funny. We don't like funny. We're the Republican Party. We don't like funny. We like bland. We like lame. We like warmongers. We don't like middle class. We like warmongers. We like Wall Street. We like free markets. That's what we're for. All right, I'm trying to reel it in a little bit here. I'm getting a little carried away, I know, but I think you get the point. Someone says the suspect Ryan Routh voted for Trump in 2016 and supported Vivek and Nikki Haley. Wait a second. How do you support Vivek and Nikki Haley? No. I'm calling BS on that right now. Nikki Haley. Do we have confirmation for that? But anyways, the point is, and it wasn't just Joel Pollak. The point is, Joel Pollak and many other people out there do not understand why Trump is popular. They still don't. It's been 10 years. They have no idea. They don't get it. They will never get it. They will never understand. If I had more time, I'd like to go back and see what Joel Pollak and all these others who are tweeting the same thing over and over again. Ryan Gerdusky was another one. Ryan Gerdusky. You know, Trump can bash a lot of people. Trump can say crazy things about a lot of people. But if you cross Taylor Swift, Ryan Gerdusky is going to be very, very mad at you, Donald Trump. You can go after anyone else, but not Taylor Swift. Now you've crossed the line. Now you've really gone and done it. And let me just pose a question to you watching, either live or after I've posted this amazing clip. Let me ask you a question. Do most people like Taylor Swift? This may seem like an obvious question, and then you start thinking, well, maybe it's a trick question. Do most people like Taylor Swift? So here's how I think about it. There are probably, I mean, we all hear about Taylor Swift moving economies and blah, 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 blah. But interestingly enough, Trump and Taylor Swift actually have a lot in common. Really. Not ideologically, I know, and not like that. I mean, in terms of their impact and in terms of their fan bases. Because both fan bases appear to be very, very large. For example, without using math and actual numbers, like raw numbers, but let's just use percentages. What percent of the country of the entire country, not just the voting public, what percent of the country really loves Donald Trump? I would say probably 10%. And you say, well, how can that be? He gets 48% of the vote. Well, first of all, only half the country votes. And of that half of vote Democrat and half vote Republican, approximately. And of the ones who vote Republican, I would say about half probably don't like Donald Trump. So if we can narrow it down, probably 10%, right? So now, how many Americans love Taylor Swift or really like Taylor Swift or just like Taylor Swift? Well, if we're thinking, let's say if they did a poll, and I would say, well, half are women, half the country is women, but they're not all young women. So I'd say, how many are young women? 20% of that 50? And of the young women, what percentage of young women love Taylor Swift? Half, a little more than half. So I think you get to about the same number, right? My point is, when Trump tweets something like this, the majority of people are not offended by it. The majority of people do not, I assure you, do not change the way they vote based on this tweet. And I can also assure you that the overwhelming majority of hardcore Taylor Swift fans do not like Trump. Now, there may be some. I know there's an X account that's Swifties for Trump or whatever. Okay. Shout out to Swifties for Trump. But the majority probably not voting for Trump anyway, right? So I think this just illustrates, and this is not a, by the way, this is not a rant about Taylor Swift fans. This is more a rant I'm giving right now about the Republican Party and the mindset of the party. It is this constantly afraid, constantly nervous, scared, and for a party that's supposedly anti-woke and politically incorrect, anytime their guy tweets anything remotely politically incorrect, they hop on him right away and say, he shouldn't be doing, he needs to focus, he needs to get serious. They think too, by the way, they think that everyone looks at politics through the prism they do, right? They really do believe that if Trump just started focusing on tax policy or focusing on deregulation or focused on his plan, he needs to have a plan. I hear this all the time. Trump needs to have a plan. Stop calling her names. He needs to go out and has to have a vision. How do you think people vote in this country? People don't vote in this country based on plans and visions and policies. They vote on, I'm sorry, but this is the phrase that people are using now, and I agree. They vote on vibes. They vote on vibes. And Republicans are always perplexed. And this started with the Obama era, by the way. Republicans are always perplexed that so many people voted for Obama and they said they're only voting for Obama because he's cool. There's no reason why they're voting for Obama. They don't really care about the policies. It's like, yeah, it's about time that the Republican Party noticed that. But Republicans and conservatives and whatever you want to call them, the right, is in this trance where they think that everyone pays attention to politics just like they do all the time. And everyone is looking for Trump to come up with this grand plan and this grand deal, like this grand formula. And he really just needs to come out with a policy. If only he had a policy, if only he focused on policy. But people don't vote based on policy. I would hazard to guess that more people vote on stuff like this. Sounds crazy, but I bet you there's men out there. Let me just say it, and this I might be way off with this. I may be totally out in left field on this, but just bear with me. How many men out there do you think are sick and tired of hearing about Taylor Swift? And I'm not don't no, don't accuse I'm guessing the chat is going to start saying, "Were they going to accuse me of being anti Taylor Swift?" No, I would never say anything bad about Taylor Swift. Never. How many though? How many men in America are tired of hearing about Taylor Swift? And they have nowhere really to say that. They have nowhere to admit that, but they're a little tired of hearing about her. And it's not a hatred of her or dislike of her. It's just, you know what? We're a little bit tired of this whole thing. That's the same thing they say about Trump, by the way. And fair enough. They say, look, we're just tired of hearing about the guy. Okay. It's gone on for too long. And look, I'm sympathetic to that. I don't agree with that. I love Trump, but I understand what they're saying there. But no, really, how many men it's not a dislike for Taylor Swift. It's just a fatigue. It's like she's on every cover. She won another award. Oh, she's doing another concert. Oh, now she's at the football game. Oh, Travis Kelsey. Oh no. Oh, now she's in the news. Now she's endorsing Kamala. Oh no. Oh, now she's doing this. Now there she is again, Taylor Swift. And it's never ending. It never ends. And honestly, there's probably women who are like that too. It's not just a man, but I would think probably mostly men. So, if we have established that there are many men, many men, as 50 Cent would say, there are many men, and don't say I'm one of them. Don't no, I would never. I would never. So take me out of the equation for a second, but let's just assume there are many men who are tired of hearing about Taylor Swift, and they see that Trump tweeted, "I hate Taylor Swift." How many of those men are like, you know what? I wasn't going to vote this time. But now that I see him tweet that, I might have to get my butt to my polling station. Look, I don't know how many of them there are, but all these political geniuses saying, "Oh, he really shouldn't be doing this." Do you think, Joel Pollack, do you think the average person is online like you are, like, oh, like it's just consumed their entire morning that Trump has tweeted about Taylor Swift? Oh no, the campaign's over. No, no. That's not the way normal people are. Normal people are not triggered by Trump tweeting about Taylor Swift. I assure you. And the people who are the most triggered, by the way, are people like Joel Pollack. You want me to show you another one? There were others. I don't know who this person is, Julie Borowski. Here's another one of these this morning. Just drove me up the wall. It's a shame. This is how she starts the tweet. It's a shame. Overall, Trump's policies are more sane than Kamala's. Here we go with the policies again. Reduce taxes and regulations. Yes, because that's what America is really pining for. I mean, the average American is sitting there and just thinking, please, can you please reduce the regulations? It's gone on too long. Right. Secure the border. Okay, fair enough. Actually stop inflation. De-escalate wars. Okay, now she's talking. Let states decide abortion. But his lack of emotional regulation is scary. It's easy to get under his skin and make him unhinged, like writing in all caps that you hate a pop star is just so emotionally immature. No, it's just funny. It's just funny. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I don't know. Do some people not understand humor? I don't know. I don't. Is that part of the problem with Trump? You think? Do they not just get it that he's joking half the time? I'm surprised the chat is so quiet. What happened to you guys? I know this is a very intense and genius monologue, but right when I start talking about Taylor Swift, you guys have nothing to say. I'm talking about Haitians eating dogs, and you guys have a whole bunch to say. But now I talk about Taylor Swift, and you bail on me. It's such a shame. It's a shame. Overall, Trump's policies are more sane than Kamala's. I honestly, I'm so tired of this line of thinking. And I'm not even saying it's not true. Like, fair enough. It's true. Trump should be more disciplined sometimes. Yes, we get it. But this has been the same. They've been saying the same thing now for 10 years. We hear them talking about how Trump has the same act. They have the same response to the act. There's nothing original. They don't have any original critique. Same thing over and over again. Oh, I wish he was more. Everyone you talk to, well, I wish he was more disciplined. And as I said the other night during one of my other streams, I think it's way too echoey in here, by the way. I need to put something up on the walls. As I said on one of my other streams, that was the whole point of Trump. The whole point of Trump was that he was controversial, that he was crazy, that he was unfiltered, that he wasn't a regular politician, that he wasn't scripted. That's the whole point. When you try and make him scripted and you try and take away the humor, you've taken away the whole point. And then what are we left with? We're left with Mitt Romney, a fine man, a very moral man, I'm sure, a family man, and an accomplished man, and a respectable man, but also a loser to Obama in the 2012 election. And whether or not Trump wins is not going to be decided on how disciplined he is. I really do not believe that. I really do not believe this election is going to depend on whether or not Trump doesn't tweet. I think people have made up their minds about him now. I don't think him waking up in the morning and tweeting that he hates Taylor Swift is going to be a catastrophe for the campaign. I really don't. But I've wasted too much energy on that. All right. Again, the chat has gone. I guess everyone's gone to bed, right? That's fine. That's fine. Once I start ranting, people are like, okay. Okay, he's going crazy now. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Is this the guy? This is the dude? This is the perp? Someone says crazy how the shooter just looks like the average lib at Whole Foods with Trump derangement syndrome. Yep. Yep, many such cases. There's S. Russell. He's back. Did you miss my rant about Taylor Swift and no one was saying anything. I thought maybe I lost you guys. I was too enthralled to write. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Does anybody know why he's pulling his shirt up like that in this photo? Like, what's going on here? He's got his hands up in the air. What they tell him to take his shirt off? Make sure they didn't have that he wasn't packing under there or what? No, I'm just doing what I do at the end of every stream right now. I'm just scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through X, see if anything's happening. Because that's basically all I had to say for tonight. The first half of the stream was very serious and very reverent, and then in the end, I just went off the rails. It's Florida, maybe just hot. Yeah, it has been extremely hot here the last week. And I'm still relatively new to Florida, even though I'm Florida millennial. I'm getting used to the heat. I actually like the heat. But yeah, recently it's been very hot. It doesn't usually cool down here until, and when I say cool down, I mean, when I say cool down, it doesn't usually go to how summer is everywhere else until maybe November or December. How long have I been in Florida for? I've been in Florida just over a year now. So Bill Crystal says, Walz should consider canceling the debate with Vance. Vance would use his time on a national stage to slander minorities, further poison the national discourse, and incite potential violence with lies. Walz could rebuke Vance's falsehoods, but why risk the further incitement? You know, tons of these people are like the neocons, especially. You find out they were never conservative. They just like war, I guess. I don't know. I could go farther into it, but I'm not going to right now. I've expelled all my energy on on Taylor Swift. The crazy thing is, my issue isn't even with her. It isn't even with Taylor Swift. Like, she comes out for Wallace, whatever. She's liberal. She's entitled, as Dave Portnoy says. Like, who cares? Everyone can have their opinion, right? But you know, my gripe really is with our side, with the right wingers who react to Trump's tweet like it's, you know, like, how dare he tweet against the Queen? You're a freaking conservative. Like, you're a Republican. Darren Beatty says the grim new reality of our democracy is we can tell whether Trump won a debate by whether an assassination attempt follows shortly thereafter. I'm not sure if I can use that word or if I should be using that word, but try not to. Hold on, what's this here? In 2023, the New York Times profiled the Trump shooter and his efforts to recruit foreign fighters for Ukraine. Okay, guys, this is just getting weirder and weirder. With Legion growth stalling, Ryan Routh, I guess do you say it Routh? A former construction worker from Greensboro, North Carolina, is seeking recruits from among Afghan soldiers who fled the Taliban. Mr. Routh, who spent several months in Ukraine last year, said he planned to move them, in some cases illegally, from Pakistan and Iran to Ukraine. He said dozens had expressed interest. Wait, what? We can probably purchase some passports through Pakistan, since it's such a corrupt country, he said in an interview from Washington. It is not clear whether he has succeeded, but one former Afghan soldier said he had been contacted and was interested in fighting if it meant leaving Iran, where he was living illegally. Wait, what? Hold on. So former Taliban members living in Iran illegally wanted to go fight in Ukraine because this guy from North Carolina wanted them to. Let's see if Scott Greer has anything more on this. Son of alleged would-be Trump tells the Daily Mail his father hates Trump like every reasonable person does. Adding, he's my dad and all he's had is a couple traffic tickets as far as I know. That's crazy. I know my dad and love my dad, but that's nothing like him. He said he was at the beach. But I thought that meant the Outer Banks in Hawaii. I didn't ask him for more information because we've had a falling out. We've grown apart. He's not a violent person. He's a hard worker and a great dad. He's a great dude, a nice guy, and has worked his whole... Okay. I will not cuss on the show. I refuse. I hate this game every 4 years and think that we all do. And if my father wants to be a martyr to how broken and disassociated the process has become from real problems and practical solutions, then that's his choice. What? This guy's talking like his dad went to a Kamala rally or something. This is a little more serious than that. Yeah, I like this tweet. I'm voting for the guy they keep trying to kill. Hey, S. Russell, make sure you subscribed, have you? I think you said the other night that you did, right? Look, here's the Ryan Gerdusky tweet. Ugh. It had to come up. If he had 1 ounce of self-control, he'd have Obama-level landslides. First of all, no. But he just can't help himself. Yeah, because the only thing separating Trump from winning 350 electoral votes is him not tweeting about Taylor Swift. I think maybe we have lost the plot here. Hit that bell too, dog. Oh yeah, nice. Thank you, man. I never remind people to do that. I should do that. So to everyone watching on YouTube, although there isn't a huge, hit that bell. It'll notify you when I go live. As you can see, I had my say there. I mean, seriously, like if people really think what's stopping Trump from a huge victory is just that he's not disciplined enough, I got news for you. That's not it. You know, maybe that idea would be legitimate and worth thinking about if it were 2016 and like Trump was still defining himself. Like, let's suppose that we were in September 2016 and Trump decided to get disciplined, which he did, by the way. I mean, Bannon got him more disciplined, but Bannon also got him on the issue that he needed to be talking about, which that's another topic. And I talked about that on my last live stream, that Trump is starting to talk about the issues he talked about back in 2016, which is good for him. But if he had done that in 2016 and people would have thought, oh, okay, maybe I can vote for him now. He's not as crazy as I thought. But we're 10 years into this. Like, people are not changing their mind. I think right now, and I think that might be the topic of tomorrow night's stream, is Trump should double down on trying to get the white working class male to vote for him. White men. That's who he needs. That's who he lost. And I got into a bit of a tussle about this with one of the fellow Republicans, fellow right wingers who was watching the debate at this watch party I was at. He was saying, well, if if Trump had to pick Nikki Haley, he could have won the white woman or the women vote. And I'm going, yeah, but that's not really who we need. Like, yeah, it'd be nice if we had them, but that's not who Trump really fell off with. He did worse with women in 2020 than he did 2016, but the group he fell off the most with was white men. And if we're going after white men, I have a feeling that the Trump or the Taylor Swift tweet actually helps him, not hurts him. Let's go through some polls. There was that one poll, Michigan 48-48, 51-47 nationally. There was a fantastic poll for Trump that came out a couple of days ago from, is it Aptus, or it starts with an A? They're an A+ polling firm, and they got 2016 almost bang on. Where is it here? I have to scroll pretty far back to get it because so many polls have been released since then. By the way, they say Trump's only up by 4 in Iowa. Yeah, in her dreams. Here it is, Atlas Intel. This is a big poll for Trump. 1,700 likely voters. Mind you, is this after the debate? Yeah, I guess so. 51-48 nationally. If that's the actual popular vote number, Trump is winning. Flat out. Like anything over 48%, 49% for Trump, he's winning. He can win it with 46-47, but it's a lot tougher. It all goes back to Taylor Swift. Yeah, it does. She's haunting me. And again, the crazy thing about this is it's not even her who's the problem. I mean, it's not even her who my righteous indignation is directed at. All right, that's it. It's 1 a.m., guys. I'm done. But I want to cap it off the way I started it, and that is that I'm praying for Trump and his safety. I'm praying that the Secret Service protect the leaders on both sides. Because who's to say something doesn't happen in the other direction, and we don't want that, of course. And I can assure you, if something like that were to happen, I would not be making glib tweets like Rachel Binman or whoever that was. So I'd do my best to try and give it to you straight. I do my best to try and pray not just for Trump, but the protection of everybody. And I'm not going to give you some throwaway line, some dumb soliloquy and about ballots, not bullets. No. Because that's what we're hearing from the David Axelrods of the world. Ballots, not bullets. This is a democracy. We don't solve our problems this way. Mind you, they have been saying he's a threat to democracy for how long now? They've been saying he's a threat to democracy. And when you say someone is a threat to democracy, you're not just saying that we disagree with you. We don't want your agenda. We don't like your personality. When you say someone is a threat to democracy, you are inviting people to perpetrate violence. And we're not just talking about the Democrat Party, we're not just talking about MSNBC hosts or something like that. Like, this is the major line that almost all Democrats running for office and all Democrats in elected office use. They use the line that Trump is a threat to democracy. That's their campaign. And then when something like this happens twice, they come on to X and they say, we must remember to solve our differences at the ballot box and not with bullets. After they have been ranting and raving about how Trump is a threat to the country for how long? So I've never been one of those people who holds others responsible for other people's actions. I do not sit here and claim that Democrats' rhetoric is the cause and that they should be culpable for what is going on with the violence perpetrated toward Trump. The same as I disagree, and this may be a controversial view, I disagree with throwing the parents of, I don't know if I can use the phrase, but those who are perpetrating violence in schools, throwing their parents in prison because they didn't, I don't know, get them help in a system that's already broken or something. Punish them, yes. Throw them in prison. You can't. Here's the point. You cannot hold other people accountable for the actions of somebody else. And this is why there's such a debate over free speech. Talk to anybody who's against free speech on social media. And their reasoning will always be, well, if you go on X, Twitter, TikTok, and you say you hate this group, and then someone goes out and perpetrates violence towards that group, you caused it. But that's not at all how the world works. If I open up X and I see a tweet and it makes me angry, and then I go and commit violence because of that tweet, the person who tweeted that out is not culpable in any way. Now, you can do what I did tonight and say, hey, these people and their rhetoric and the way they're talking about this man is really a contributing factor. Yes, contributing factor, yes. The reason, no. The reason this happened today is because this guy was whoever he was and he wanted to do this. There's the hatred for Trump is, as you know, off the charts. That's not an original thing to say. I know it's like, breaking news. People hate Trump. But I have not seen this sort of hatred against an individual, a politician, a president, anybody in as long as I have lived. And before I close out, I'll just say this. I have seen and I've been in the presence of people who, when Trump's name is brought up or when he's discussed, and when there is someone in their vicinity who voices support for him, they go into a mental breakdown. And I am not kidding about that. I am not even exaggerating one bit. They go into a complete mental fit. So there are large portions of the population who are mentally unstable when it comes to Trump. They are triggered. They are sent into emotional hysteria over this man. And when those people reach their limit, you see stuff like this. And you can never control how crazy people act and why people have hatred in their hearts for whoever and whatever cause or whatever person. But what we can do is be aware that the way we talk about certain figures does contribute to this emotional hysteria. When Obama was president, many people called him a socialist. Many people called him a communist. Many people called him a liberal. Many people said he was destroying the country, but I do not remember the same sort of invective. I know it was intense against him too. It's intense against any president, but I don't remember there being people, entire networks, entire political parties accusing Obama of being a threat to democracy, talking about a president or former president in the way they would talk about America's worst enemies. Remember that there are people who claim that January 6th was worse than 9/11. So, and Mark Halperin, by the way, you know who Mark Halperin is, has said as much. He has said that if Trump wins, he says there will be almost, no, how did he put it? If Trump wins, we will see the biggest mental health crisis in America that we've ever seen. The hatred for him among certain people and the emotional instability is that intense. So, my thinking is we need not respond to this hatred and this evil and this violence with more hatred, more evil, and more violence. And again, this cliche thing to say, but we have to return their hatred with love. And if that love is love of the country, love of God, and love of Trump, yes, but this should never come to the level of love of God, because that's first and foremost. But we need to make sure going forward that we do not comport ourselves in the same way as Rachel Inman. We should not be comporting ourselves in the same way as the people who tweet out things like they wish he hadn't missed, like they did back in July. So, we are not going to be like that. The lowest we are going to go is we are going to say that Trump was hilarious for tweeting out that he hates Taylor Swift. Because that, as much as Ryan Gerdusky, who, by the way, I do like and I do listen to a lot. I like him when he goes on Ann Coulter's podcast. Has a lot of interesting things to say. But Earth to Ryan Gerdusky and Joel Pollack and the rest of the hand wringers. Trump making jokes on social media is not going to tank his campaign. It is not. If anything, it's going to help because the reason people love Trump to begin with is because he was brash, he was controversial, unscripted, and funny. And finding a politician who is funny is rare. It's actually very rare. How many presidents have we had who are legitimately funny? Like George W. Bush he was like self-deprecating funny, I guess. Obama was kind of funny. He was kind of cool funny, I guess. Biden, not funny. People are laughing at Biden, but for all the wrong reasons. Um, Bill Clinton, kind of funny, I guess. Reagan was funny. People like humor. People like I saw, but I'm going way over again now, but I can't help it. I saw a clip of Trump from, and by the way, I feel like all these shows are just the whole thing is about Trump now, and I don't like that. I don't like it being all about Trump. I don't mind talking about him, but I think I don't want every show to be Trump, 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 Trump. I want to talk about issues. I want to talk about polls. I want to talk about stuff, other stuff. But because we are in the political season, this is what we're discussing. Um, I don't want to make it seem like this is like the Trump obsessed stream. But I saw a clip of him last night, and he said something to the effect, I can't remember exactly what the topic was. They said, "Well, Mr. President, so and so voters aren't getting the support," and he kinda just said, "You know what, whatever. If they support me, they support me. If they don't, then they're stupid," or something like that. That's the paraphrase. I wonder if I can find the clip. Anyway, but of course, there was another one of these people, these Republican people, quote tweet. Okay, here comes the quote tweet. Well, if he's just gonna dismiss, if he's just gonna say he doesn't care about them. And you know what I thought to myself? Running for president is it's really a psychological, and not that I am a, follower of pickup artists. I am a Christian after all. But there was a time when I would watch their YouTube videos just out of curiosity because it's really like a more of a psychological experiment they're doing all the time. And one of the things you notice is that when men are pursuing women, a lot of times the women will their attraction will go up. Their attraction to the man will go up the more the male in question seems to not care at all. It's a very interesting thing that happens. Whereas if you're caring more and you're needy and you're focused on a certain outcome and you're scared you're gonna lose them, they get turned off by that. Very interesting psychological occurrence, I guess you could say. And I would say running for president isn't really that much different. And I think just as women can smell desperation on I think voters can smell desperation from candidates too. They know when you're pandering to them. They know when you're fake, they know when you're lying. They would rather you slap them with the truth than kiss them with a lie. They would rather you say it the way it needs to be said, say it straight, be plain spoken, be honest, genuinely honest. Voters will be fine if you say something they disagree with, but they think you're genuine about it, as opposed to you telling them something you think they wanna hear because the consultants told you to, because they crafted a policy. They built an ad on Madison Avenue for you, and they told you to speak a certain way. Like, they told Kamala to make a certain face when Trump was speaking. Turn to him and put your hand on your chin like this and roll your eyes and smile. Make sure you keep smiling and laugh all the time and be quirky and be like this so people think you are funny, cool, and happy, and remember to keep your hand on your chin. That whole thing is just I don't know about you, but when I saw that, it's like she's clearly being coached. She's clearly being led down this path by a bunch of Hollywood consultants, and it's just fake. It's phony. It's unappealing. I'll take Trump yelling like a maniac, talking about how the cats and dogs are being eaten any day over that contrived, uh, act, that contrived, uh, camel. So I said camel, not camel. Different different things, just in case anyone wanted to say, "Oh, racist." No, a camel. Uh, an act put or something put together by committee. Um, the whole debate, Trump was being yes, yes, yeah. Trump. Look, I was supposed to end the stream 20 minutes ago. Trump during that debate was like, and look, we've talked about the debate so much. I don't even want to talk about the debate anymore. Trump during that debate was everything that, how should I put this? Everything that Europeans hate about Americans is and was all wrapped up in Trump's personality. Brash, overly confident, dominant, arrogant, um, braggadocious, as Trump would say, right wing. The list goes on and on. Trump was larger than life, loud, very sure of himself, um, and the most important part, which is stubborn. I think this is something I admire with Trump because I'm one of his supporters, and obviously people don't agree with me on this, but he's very stubborn. He will not let someone tell him what to say, and the more someone insists that he says it, he will double down and say, "No, I am not saying it." Because you see the questioning, during the debate and elsewhere with him is always like, "Come on, when are you gonna admit you lost? Like, did you lose? Well, you said in the podcast you lost. You lost by a whisker. When are you gonna admit it?" And Trump just goes, "No, screw you. I didn't lose, okay?" And he just never really goes off of it. He doesn't let people coerce him into doing something he doesn't wanna do or saying something he doesn't wanna say. And he doesn't like it when they try to get him to be weak. Because when let us say that he were to admit that he lost, do you think they would turn around and say, "Well, finally he's admitted it. Let's give him credit. He's finally come, he understands it now. Let's give him credit for a little humility here." No, it's not gonna be like that. They're gonna say, "Ha ha, loser. You admitted you lost." So Trump knows what this is all about. There's nothing really different than this and, the schoolyard, and I hear people saying that he's a bully. I don't think, I don't think Trump would take that as a disparaging remark. Yeah, he's gonna bully America's opponents. He's gonna get a good deal for the United States. Yeah, he's gonna bully America's enemies. He's gonna bully the people who have ripped the country off for so many years. He's gonna bully the people who don't contribute to NATO and then call Trump a fascist. Yeah, he's gonna bully a little bit. Sorry, maybe America needs a little bit of a bully. So so yeah, those little emojis you use there really describe it well. What is that first one? That's like, what is that, like an Aztec? What is that? What is that? Is that the chat emoji? What do you even type in to get that? How do you pronounce that thing you just typed there? I don't know. Am I I'm showing him. Oh, Easter Island, that's right. Okay, okay. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that word though. I have to steal that, that's perfect. It's really this not just describes the debate, it describes the whole presidential race, really. Very true. Yeah, Trump He's got aura, man. He's got, like he's overpowering. Don't you want that as your president? Don't you want this 78-year-old Chad who flies around in his private plane and golfs and, people try and take him out, and he goes, "I was in the middle of my birdie putt." What, you don't want that, Joel Pollack? You don't want that? You want Ron DeSantis? Is that what you want? Oh, would you rather have Nikki Haley? No. Not here. Sorry. Not here. I like this version. I like when he's being funny. I like when he's tweeting out stuff about Taylor Swift in the morning. I like it. I like it more. So he loses some suburban women in Philly. So what? So what? What, you think this country's gonna be saved? Okay, that I'll retract that. Yes, the country is going to be saved. I don't mean to go completely off the rails. It's getting late. I need to stop. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining this late night Sunday stream. All the intelligent wages are asleep in their beds. They're waking up in 3 hours. They're waking up in 3 hours to chug the coffee and sit in the traffic. And I'm here doing this stream for you. And I will be doing it hopefully every night. How many people do we have on X watching? 35. Thank you, S. Russell, for the nice comments. The video, like the stream if you can, it helps with the algorithm. But thank you for your comments, for your input, and for playing along, and for that description of the debate. I'm going to steal that from you. Everyone else, thank you as well. Thank you to check it out as always. Check it out as always. Oh, I missed one of your comments. Check it out. Harris has 76% to get the popular vote on polling market. Yeah, that's probably about right. Probably about right. With California, it's very, very hard for Trump to get that popular vote. All right. I'm staring at this hashtag trending. Let's just see. Let's just go through once more. I know there's only one person left, but let's just go. Yeah, no, it's too late. It's too late. We'll go through all this tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for all those on X. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Florida Millennial. Please click the alert bell so you know when I'm going live. Please follow me on X, FLA Millennial, at FLA Millennial. If you're watching already on X, you know you're already watching on my profile. So subscribe to my X, my Twitter account, and I always tweet out when I'm going live, so you're always going to see when I go live. I'm trying to do a mixture of pre-recorded stuff and live streams, but I really like doing the live streams. There's something about doing stuff live that's just fun and interactive, and I'm hoping to grow the audience even more so we can have like 50 S Russells and like 50 check it outs, super chats coming in. We're going to get there. I'm telling you, we're going to get there, and I need to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're hitting it soon. We're on the verge of something big here. We're going to this YouTube channel of mine is going to explode. I can feel it, and I declare it in Jesus' name. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like, please comment, please follow, and all that. Tomorrow night, I am going to my church conference, same one I went to tonight, for tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night. So if I do a stream, it's probably going to be later. It's probably going to be like 11 o'clock or something around that time. So it's going to be later streams this week, or at least until Wednesday. And I'm sure we're going to get more news tomorrow about the shooter and everything else, and there'll be more polling. And whatever else happens, we'll talk about it. But I will be here live on X, live on YouTube, hopefully tomorrow night around 11 o'clock. And I will not go as late. I can make you that promise now. Thank you, everybody, so much. And I will see you all tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your night and have a great day tomorrow. Thank you all. God bless.